This happened a while ago. I can't say my name, location, or the time frame for obvious reasons. Just know I'm nowhere near that city again, and if you followed the news, you probably are going to figure out real quick which place I'm talking about. I was a thief, to be blunt. A burglar, ski mask and all, who would steal things out of people's houses at night and resell them. Got sloppy one day, went to jail for a few years, did my time, came right back out. Unfortunately, that kind of stuff doesn't look good on a resume, so my bounce back wasn't going so great. I knew in my heart I was probably going to end up returning to stealing stuff eventually. I just didn't expect such a good offer. Not for someone as small scale as myself. Clearly, I impressed someone. The job offer first came to me on a bus station bench in a slight drizzle. I was the only one there. It was late, and we were both illuminated by a street lamp. A real picturesque scene, if I do say so myself. Straight out of a crime film. That was when I saw the suit for the first time, which my would-be boss came to meet me in person in. In case you haven't seen it, you really need to, because words don't do justice how creepy the thing is. It looks like, I don't know, it might have been a sports mascot or theme park character suit at one point. A purplish, pinkish dog or bear or something. Shaggy and clearly built for snotty little kids to give it hugs or whatever. Only instead of having a big Care Bear smile on its face, it just looks mildly depressed. Like it's having a midlife crisis or something. Big white mesh eyes you're supposed to look out and a creased frown on his muzzle. Also, it looks much worse nowadays than it did when I first saw it, but let me tell you, it was never pretty. Even then, it was dirty and ragged, missing patches of fur in places and covered in unknown substances in others. If it was ever washed, it was years before I ever came into contact with it. Whatever. Guy comes to meet me in the suit and tells me the deal. We hit up a couple places, him, me, and a few other guys he was contracting. We all wear the same suit. We try to talk as little as possible, and with luck, the cops think it's all one guy. Cops think it's all one guy. He basically admits to my face it's a herd mentality. If one of us gets caught, they close the case and the rest of us take what we've got and bounce. Brutal, but each of us was thinking the same thing. Hey, at least it probably won't be me, right? Of course it was me. That's why I'm writing this. You figured that part out already. I also never met any of the other people working for him before you ask. All normal people like me, I'm sure. I don't want to wear the thing. But even I have to admit it's a pretty good plan. Never really heard anything like it off the top of my head. So I agreed. Here's how it would work. I'd get a call on a day telling me to meet him somewhere, often a parking garage or back lot of a gas station, the drug dealer, usual suspects. The boss had a deep, gravelly voice, but always sounded weirdly calm, like almost bored. Never once threatened me or told me I had 24 hours or whatever. Basically, his voice matched the face on the suit. He'd tell me what we were hitting, what to bring, where to bounce when you were done, where to stash the suit. And the whole time, of course, he was wearing it. I never brought it up, but it was pretty clear this guy didn't want me to know who he was. I speculated, of course. Had my own pet theories about who was rich and stupid enough to do this Scooby-Doo villain shtick. Rich because, remember, he's really not getting much after all the cuts he has to make for the team members. A lot of people had a lot of irons in the fire for even a single job, not just the guy in the suit. I'm cruising. It's not bad for a bit. I'm not raking in hundreds and thousands, but it's not middling pennies either. Enough to keep the landlord off my back. And I hide the remainder as a rainy day fund. Every once in a while, I'd turn on the TV and find out about a suit job I hadn't been told about, which was fine by me, because I was still making money and nobody was looking for me specifically. I'm a bit lanky, and the suit's padded to look like a real bodybuilder must be under there. I'm way above suspicion. I also see a few of the jobs I'm not involved in include grabbing weapons. Nothing heavy duty, but, stuff from rifle stores and the like. Keep that in mind. Anyway, the whole time I'm wondering who it is, but I honestly don't care enough to actually look into it and jeopardize my cushy opportunity. I'll probably never get handled like this again in my life. Obviously, that changed one day. I came to where I'm supposed to pick up the suit, an old apartment building that had been vacated ages back and was meant to be torn down soon. I come to the room he specified, and I guess I got there a little early because he was still there. Every other time he's dipped before I got there, and I assumed he was leaving it there days in advance. Every other time he's dipped before I get there, and I assumed he was leaving it there days in advance. Hours, at least, to avoid running the risk of, this happening. Here's where I tell you I saw his face, and he was a Quasimodo, right? Super disfigured, a terrifying zombie of a man. Nah. All I saw was him bending over, pulling the head off. And he was hunched over so low, I couldn't even see his real head. I quickly ducked out because screw that, I'm not even gonna risk getting a target painted on my back. Waited outside, listening for someone to leave. Nobody did. I waited as long as I could without screwing up our schedule. In case you've never played a video game, getting in and out with your haul quickly is important in heights, especially. In case you've never played a video game, getting in and out with your haul quickly is important in heists, especially when you're as conspicuous as a giant purple bear. And then went in. There was the suit, sitting on the floor for me. No obvious exits. Whoever was in the suit vanished into the wind. Poof. Whatever. I don't have time to worry about it. I grabbed the suit and did the job. That wasn't my last one for him. The next one was. Jewelry store. Jared's, I think. I stop the car outside, charge in, hold the place up. Only one other guy in there buying jewelry for someone. He goes down on the ground the same as the rest. Only thing is, when I'm holding up the girl at the register to empty the money she's got, I hear a buzz. I turn around, and he has the biggest oh crap look on his face, holding his phone right next to his head on the ground. This dude was smart enough to stealthily call the cops while I wasn't looking, and stupid enough to not turn off his stupid vibrate. I took a moment to think of what to do, whether I should ditch completely or just snatch his phone and put some more hustle into my step. I didn't have time to decide. The suit shot him. I know. I've explained it 1,000 times. No one ever believes me. I cannot stress it enough. The suit shot him. I didn't move my arm. The heavy suit arm swung up independently, taking me with it. The fingers clenched around the handgun. And with great accuracy, it hits, and the poor guy's head explodes. A lot messier than I expected from such a slink of a gun. It happened so fast. I couldn't even react at first, and just like that, I was in control again. I dropped the gun, snatched it up again because evidence, booked it. Got 2 steps before my feet stopped. My legs kept going, hitting against the suit's confines, but the bare paws were firmly rooted to the ground. Now that I had finally put 2 and 2 together, I realized I was stuck in the most idiotic, fuzzy Iron Maiden ever devised. And I was terrified, out of my mind. The suit stepped back. I had lost my breath and was too busy. I couldn't say a word. So it probably looked like I had just had a sudden change of heart about leaving. Lifted the gun again. Unsurprisingly, the girl complied. And I left of my own volition with a full bag. And then got grabbed by the cops on the drive back. I didn't even try to resist arrest. I only requested, once they pulled me out of the suit, that I be celled far away from it. I don't think they listened. Their loss, unfortunately. Because after a while spent in the holding cell, only dimly aware that the suit had been taken into evidence, I heard a gunshot, and the door opened again. The suit stood in the door. He still didn't threaten me. He didn't say a word. He just walked up to me, dropped the gun in my hand, and collapsed like a shirt falling off the hanger. All illusion of someone in there wearing him disappeared in a second. He was done pretending. He figured I got the message. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to jail again. But I wanted that a lot more than to ever get inside that thing again. Unfortunately, there was really no way to say no in that moment. I fled the station in the suit, taking back lots and alleys to the original site where I was supposed to dump him when I was done. When I did, just in case I might have thought the whole thing had a rational explanation, the suit spoke to me. Right as I had turned away to leave. All it did was thank me by name. That same gravelly voice I'd been hearing over the phone, coming out from somewhere inside the empty head. I fled to a place safer than my house. You're sure I deadlocked it. That's not the end of the story. The part everyone knows is next, the very next day. The suited freak's attack on the family which shall not be named. A family of the Scorsese Godfather type, except less Italian from what I remember of them. The group with the biggest control over drug and weapon trade in the area, manned by the huge jerk I had spent a good portion of my life trying not to meet. How he disappeared and was replaced with a new guy. And you'll never guess what outfit the new guy was never seen outside of. I got out of Dodge, grabbing my rainy day savings and only making one last call right before I chucked my phone off a bridge. I had a friend with some connections to that group, and I asked if he knew what had happened specifically. My accounting is third hand. I don't know if it's true. I don't know why I wouldn't believe it at this point. According to him, Suit Freak attacked the family's house out of nowhere, using all the weapons he had stocked up. Every bullet without budging. Punches or rifle smacks were even more useless. In about an hour, he tore through every bodyguard until he reached the head in his bedroom. The recounter supposedly only survived by playing dead and happened to catch what happened next sideways on the floor, surrounded by his dead mates. Suit Freak came up to the patriarch in his bed, took his own head off. The family's adult son was inside. They didn't know if he had been alive inside there before the attack, but he had taken every single bullet fired at the bear personally. Suit Freak let his father stay alive just long enough to see what had been done, how he had won his victory, and then shot him in the head without a word. Suit's still the most prolific criminal over there now. Police still haven't figured out how to catch him. They're even fairly certain he's been using his new resources to make duplicate suits to carrying out multiple jobs at the same time. I doubt any of them are like he is. Or, at least I sure hope not. Because if that thing can reproduce, we might as well just give up now. I suspect I know his worst case scenario plan for if he's ever caught. Hide someone's body inside himself again beforehand. Some prolific criminal he can pin it all on. Let them think they shot and killed him, and then go into hiding. The same plan he had when I worked for him, only without bothering to get the corpse's consent anymore. And you know, there are so many places, I imagine, an inanimate costume can fly under the radar. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons, Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.